Damn, I wonder what I'm gonna get. Oh, this one. I can get this. How much?
It's 150. Thank you.
Yo, bro, like, where are you even from? How'd you get here?
Bro, no tiene ni idea.
In Philadelphia, the Poppy Store is a staple of the community, where the kids go for snacks after school, or where we might go for a platter after work. One can't help but wonder who it is behind the scenes keeping them all together.
Bueno, mi nombre es Olivo Brito, tengo 56 años, entré al país en el 1989, hace mucho tiempo.
I grew up in Yamasá, Monte Plata, in the Dominican Republic, and I worked with my dad in agriculture. And in the year 85, we moved to the capital. I continued school there while working at a furniture store with my older brother. After that, I worked at a fried chicken spot. My dad made me work there until 88, 89, and in 1989, that's when he brought me to the United States. When I set foot on American soil, it was something emotional and different, compared to home, at least. And of course, I'll always miss my country. But yeah, it was a culture shock, really. It was a different life compared to home. The culture was different, but I adapted little by little. It was hard to learn English because all of the customers in our bodega were Hispanic. So the little bit of English that I learned was really just bit by bit because everyone spoke Spanish. That was in Brooklyn, New York, where I was at first. It was my dad who got the idea in my head that I needed to move to the U.S. In those years, 89, 90, immigration was very notorious. But it was popular, and in our parents' view, the opportunities there, the way we could progress, was by going to the States. I didn't really have the vision to travel. They saw that staying home wasn't the right future for you, to really be someone in this life. Because you could become a professional with a degree on display in your house, with all the special rewards, and yet, with all that, you still couldn't be somewhere comfortable. So, in reality, my dad saw our future in America. With this bodega, I've been the owner for 20 years, and it's with this bodega that I've been able to find the security and well-being that I've nurtured with dedication, lots of dedication. The bodega business, I see it as a family business, a family between the owner and the customer. Because in a case where one day they come with not even enough money for a gallon of milk, you let them know that they can pay you next time that they get paid. And that's something that Walmart won't do, or ShopRite. And I think that's something that allows you to connect directly with the customer. You treat them like family.
Yo sé que ya porque el viejo no la corre la cocina, pues una cocina fría, no de hockey.
No debe reescribirse por conveniencia política.
Ya entiendo.
Lady is a Dominican immigrant who owns a local bodega in Northeast Philadelphia. Every Friday, she buys goods for the store to make sure it's always fully stocked for her customers.
1, 2, 3, probando. 1, 2, 3, probando. 1, 2, 3. testing. Yo nunca me decidí mudar.
I never really decided to move here. Truly, I was forced. My grandfather, my father's father, planned the trip. We got here through him. I arrived in the Bronx, New York. I came here with my siblings when I was 19 in 1997. In DR, my mother would always make sure we were getting an education. I went to college, and if I never would have left, I would have been in the medical field by now.
784. Easiest way to do it is to be a sustainer. You don't need to remember to renew your membership.
Tan bonito. Y hágalo, invéntelo. Está buscando, los plátanos son la bolsa a 3 por $1. La unidad del chile por libra lo venden. Es un poco interesante
It's
porque
a little interesting because I had never been on a plane before. My sister and I went on the plane ahead of my brother. We went in and sat in the first row, which was first class. We didn't know, and we just sat right down. It's a bit funny because we got in the plane and just immediately took a seat. After 15 minutes, the flight attendant came over and she told us that we couldn't sit there. Things were definitely different because over there we could ride the motorcycle wherever we wanted, but in New York it was better just to walk. In the Bronx or Manhattan, we learned very quickly how populated it truly was. That's what led me to move states. I went to Massachusetts and life was slower there. That's where I had my first child, my daughter. There, I started working at a company, a factory. I stayed there a few years and decided to move to Schenectady, New York. That's where I bought my first house. It was also where I started my first business. I opened a barbershop with my partner, and I started my first money transfer agency. I realized I was a good businesswoman, probably because of my mother. My mother was always good at it, and Mommy, she never was an employee. She always worked for herself. So I think I adopted that from her.
Bueno, yo soy de la República Dominicana, soy de Santiago Rodríguez, es una de las provincias que quedan en el norte de la República Dominicana, y desde el año 2024 estamos acá en los Estados Unidos, desde el día 29 de abril.
Estamos haciendo una película, muchachas. Ella llegó, ella es la protagonista.
My motivation for leaving the Dominican Republic and coming to the United States came to my mind in 2022. I remember I told my coworker that I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the States. I wanted to come here to look for what we would call a retreat for personal growth. In our country, it exists, but not for people with little resources like us. I left on April 24th from DR. We had a projected trajectory of 5 days, and I traversed through different countries to finally arrive here on American soil. The journey took exactly as planned, 5 days. I worked in construction, helping bring supplies from place to place in Santiago Rodriguez. It was there that the idea came to me to come over here. I knew that I had a lot of drive and energy, but I couldn't keep using it there. With the little resources available, that didn't allow me to get anywhere. With the energy that I have, I could use that to get to what I understand to be some place where my future would be secure, a more comfortable life. I would rather spend my energy where I could guarantee that at an older age, I would be able to say, yes, I'm comfortable. I have no worries with money. I have abundant savings. Something that will guarantee that I will be secure. The drive I have to achieve my dreams and do things the right way is what allows me to learn. Thanks to God, I'm able to improve myself while I interact with customers and service them when they come in. If I don't understand something they need when they speak in English to me, I try to ask someone else to explain it to me. I don't give up easily. I always find a way to investigate what it is that they need. I try to interpret it so that the customer feels good when they leave. It's a learning experience every day. When they ask something I'm not familiar with or don't know how to pronounce, I always learn. Well, you know, all immigrants have a dream. They dream of the American dream. To do things here that they could not do in their own country. To make their lives better, for better income, and to help bring their family over for the same.
You have to set an objective to always keep moving forward and to do well. You have to dedicate 100% because if you don't, you'll fail. Sometimes there comes difficult moments where you want to throw in the towel, but you can't give up.
I ask God to one day have my own business, to one day be able to feel normal and comfortable in this country, to be in a place where immigration has stabilized, to be able to move freely, and to be able to contribute and to help this country so that it can keep being the special place that it is, where other immigrants can come safely with no fear. My contribution to this country can help those in the future as well.
Wow, what an interesting journey. You have a good one.